The Shield of Valor, a father's love and duty in the bustling town of Riverstone, where the river's gentle hum was a constant companion, lived Samuel Carter, a police officer whose name was synonymous with courage and kindness. To the townsfolk, he was Officer Carter, the man who patrolled the streets with a steady gaze and a ready smile. To his daughter, Emma, he was simply Dad, the hero who tucked her into bed with stories of bravery and love. Samuel's story began in 1990, when he was a young officer, just 24, with a badge pinned to his chest and a heart full of dreams. Riverstone was a town of contrasts. Charming homes lined the main street, but the outskirts held shadows of crime that kept Samuel's nights long. It was during one such night, on a rainy patrol, that he met Clara. Clara was a nurse at Riverstone General, known for her gentle hands and fierce spirit. That evening, Samuel responded to a call about a disturbance at the hospital. A distraught man, lost to grief, had caused a scene in the ER. Samuel arrived, his uniform damp from the rain, and found Clara calming the man with words as soothing as a lullaby. Her presence was like a beacon in the chaos, and Samuel couldn't take his eyes off her. "Need a hand, ma'am?" he asked. Stepping forward, Clara glanced up, her eyes meeting his. "Only if you can convince him that shouting won't bring his brother back," she said, her voice steady but kind together. They de-escalated the situation, Samuel's calm authority complementing Clara's empathy. When the night quieted, he offered to walk her to her car. Under the hospital's flickering lights, they talked about her long shifts, his love for protecting Riverstone, and their shared dream of a world where kindness prevailed. By the time they reached her car, Samuel knew he'd met someone extraordinary. Their love blossomed slowly, like the wildflowers along the river. Samuel would visit the hospital with coffee during Clara's breaks, and she'd cheer at his softball games with the precinct team. But being a police officer's partner wasn't easy. Clara worried during his late-night shifts, and Samuel feared his dangerous job might one day steal their future. Yet their love grew stronger with every challenge. One crisp autumn evening, under the town's oldest oak tree, Samuel knelt before Clara. "I can't promise a life without fear," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "but I promise to love you with every beat of my heart and to come home to you every night I can." Clara, tears in her eyes, said yes before he could finish. They married in a small church, surrounded by friends and the hum of the river. A year later, Emma was born, a bright-eyed girl who inherited her mother's compassion and her father's courage. Samuel's life as a police officer was demanding. He faced armed robbers, mediated disputes, and once saved a child from a burning car, earning a Medal of Valor. But his proudest moments were at home. He'd come home after a grueling shift, still in his uniform, and find Emma waiting with a drawing of him as a superhero. "You're my shield, Daddy," she'd say, and he'd scoop her up, his heart swelling. Clara and Samuel faced trials together. In 2000, a string of burglaries shook Riverstone, and Samuel worked tirelessly to catch the culprits. One night he was shot in the shoulder during a chase. Clara stayed by his hospital bed, holding his hand, her nurse's composure masking her fear. "You promised to come home," she whispered. Samuel, weak but determined, squeezed her hand. "And I will always." He recovered, but the incident left a mark. Samuel began training younger officers, teaching them not just tactics but compassion. "A badge isn't just for catching criminals," he'd say. "It's for protecting hope." At home, he taught Emma the same, telling her stories of his calls not to scare her but to show her the world's complexities and the power of kindness. When Emma was 12, tragedy struck. Clara was diagnosed with a heart condition, a cruel twist for a woman who'd spent her life healing others. Samuel took leave from the force, balancing fatherhood and caring for Clara. He'd cook her favorite meals, read poetry by her bedside, and hold her hand through every doctor's visit. Emma watched her father's strength, not in his badge, but in his unwavering love. Clara passed away when Emma was 14. The loss carved a hollow in Samuel's heart, but he poured his love into Emma. He became both parents, attending her school plays, teaching her to drive, and listening to her dreams of becoming a doctor like her mother. At night, he'd sit by the river, talking to Clara in his heart, promising to keep their daughter safe years later. When Emma graduated medical school, she gave a speech, dedicating it to her father. "My dad, Officer Samuel Carter, taught me that heroism isn't just saving lives on the job. It's loving fiercely every day, no matter the cost." The crowd rose in applause, and Samuel, now graying, wiped tears from his eyes. Samuel retired from the force at 55, his badge worn but his spirit bright. He spent his days volunteering at the community center, teaching kids about safety and storytelling. Emma, now a doctor, would visit with her own daughter, Lily, who'd climb into Samuel's lap, begging for tales of Grandpa the hero. Samuel's love story wasn't just with Clara. It was with Emma, with Riverstone, with the duty he carried in his heart. His life as a police officer was a testament to love's strength, a shield not just against danger, but for the hope and family he cherished. In Riverstone, where the river still hums, Samuel Carter's story lives on, a father and officer, a man who loved with valor.